I'm Alexander Lancaster here at Two Wolf Studio with my special guest, comedian, local here in town and doing some big stuff, Jade O'Reilly. Thanks for being here.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
So you work here in Topeka as a comedian.
I do. I'm hysterical.
Yeah? And you can find your stuff you could go over to Break Room a lot of times and see you there. So what else do you have coming up?
I have shows at the Break Room coming up, and I have some at JJ's Gallery coming up, and there'll be some other shows to be announced.
When's the J&J Gallery coming up?
The one in JJ's is September 13th, I believe.
September 13th. That should be a fun gig. It's
It
in
will
Noto,
be.
right?
That is in Noto, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a kind of an idea of what kind of work you do, what kind of stuff you do here.
I started my comedy maybe about 6 years ago. I've been told I'm funny my entire life. People have laughed at me my entire life. I've just now taken it to the stage. So
Right.
6 years ago, I stepped on a stage and got my nerve up, and it was a competition, and I won.
Wow.
And it's such a gift. I can't paint a painting, but I can make a person laugh, and that's a real
Sure.
high,
Sure.
you know. And so you have to delve deep into yourself because there's so many different types of people out there. So you want to reach them with your humor, which is an art as well. And so I've done that, and I'm really excited every time I get up on that stage. It's also very hard too, but the looks on people's faces when they're laughing, or the praise you get after a show, and how you made them happy, because there's so much sadness and despair in the world. So if I can give them that, that's a gift to myself as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a gift to others too. So where did you get your first start? Where was the place you first showed?
It was at the Break Room.
The Break Room?
And I just went in to watch they had a comedy competition. And I thought, I'll go watch it. And then maybe I'll get the nerve to be in one of these someday. And so I was watching it, and I asked the gal there, I said, do you have another one coming up? And she said, yeah, in a couple months. She said, we could sign you up. She goes, then she comes back, she says, actually, we could get you on tonight. And I was like, oh no, I have nothing prepared. And then I had a glass of wine.
You're like, I come up there.
So there was probably, 9 comedians competing that night. And these are comedians that have done it for a while. And I got up there, I had nothing planned, and I just told them a true story of when I got on an elevator with an inmate. And it was a hit. And I won. And,
Nice.
I'm just moving forward with it. I'm really excited, yeah.
And Break Room is located downtown on Kansas Avenue right here. And Chris Schultz, he's been doing some amazing stuff here in downtown. Many props to him. He's a great guy too. So thank Chris for a break right there, right? So since then you've been doing a lot of other things, and you've been performing in other places as well, or?
I have, and I did get to perform with Gallagher at
that's
the
awesome.
Break Room.
Yeah.
He opened up for me, and that was really exciting. He's
that's cool.
a large icon, so that was a big deal in my life. I've done some work in Fort Riley. I've done some in Minneapolis and San Antonio, and so I've really broadened my horizons. But I like the local scene here. It's really growing, and people recognize me, and it makes me feel good that I can offer this, laughter to the community.
Especially to Topeka, we need to laugh more.
We do.
Right?
It's the best medicine. It really is.
So how would you say, like, your struggle for being a comedian and being based in Topeka? What would you say about that? Is there a struggle, or what's your opinion about that, basically?
As far as struggle goes, I don't know, maybe internal struggles. Life is really hard, and I've had a lot. You have to walk through the gates of hell to get to heaven sometimes.
That's right.
And a lot of comedians, look at Robin Williams, we struggle with a lot of inner demons, and comedy is one way to heal ourselves.
Sure.
And it's something that I use as well. So when things get dark, I bring out the comedy, and it's my medicine. It's what I go to, and it helps other people too, because there's other people who have demons, and you don't always want to deal with them. So, maybe it's music or art, painting or comedy, and that's what I can offer. That's the gift that, I've been given and I'm able to provide to people, and it helps me in my life, be a happier, better person.
That's what I use art for, is a healing part of Topeka, a healing part of our community. And I see you using that same thing. And that's really what we need to keep going with whenever it comes to the healing of Topeka. People say there's nothing going on in Topeka. That's the famous saying. What do you have to say about that?
There's plenty going on in Topeka, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. And the cool thing is that I'm meeting so many exciting people. I'm not the only one doing comedy. I'm not the only one painting pictures. I'm learning about all these people that are out there in the community because of what I've started to do. And my world is opening up. It's blooming. And these people are meeting me, and their world is blooming too. And we've got NODA, we've got downtown, and it's growing so incredibly. And it's a beautiful sight.
It is.
And, I've met you. I was driving down the street one day, and he's painting a mural on a wall. And I said to my son, that's my friend painting that mural. He goes, Mom, can we stop and meet a real artist? And I said, your mom is a real artist. He goes, no, like that.
Yes, but that's true. There's a lot of artists in this town of different mediums.
Yeah.
And that's the greatest thing about it, is that we're all using this talent, skills as a way to heal. I mean, Topeka has been not had the best reputation for things happening and it being a cool place to be. But I think over the last 6 years, it's been people like you and a lot of the other artists here in Topeka that's really been bringing that attention to, we have stuff here and you can heal and you could be part of it and you could laugh and we could get through it. And I hope at the very best to inspire. What do you have as anybody that says, I would love to be like Jay?
People tell me that all the time. I would love to get up on a stage. I would love to be a
comedian.
How do you
do it?
How do you do it? And you just say, oh, you can try. You can try. It's where
Just trying and not being afraid.
Like walking into kindergarten. One day you're there and, it's a fateful step, but you make it, and maybe it's your thing, maybe it's not, but you try it. If not, not everybody has to be a comedian or a painter. Or there are people who just like to enjoy the arts.
Yeah.
And
we need those.
We need them so much.
Yeah.
And, I have followers, and I go places, and people go, I saw your show, and an old couple hit me up at a restaurant, and other people heard that, and I felt like a superstar.
Yeah.
I was ready to drive to Hollywood and put my star sticker on that, sidewalk, and I'm in. So,
Right.
Hollywood Boulevard, here I come, but I sit to Ellen on her couch. I have high hopes.
Right. No, I believe you'll get there if you want to be there. I really do.
Yeah.
If you want to be there, you'll get there.
But it really is. It's something that does my heart good. And I reach out to others with my comedy, and it does their heart good. And they ask you when you're going to have your next show, and there they are again. So, it's going to grow. It's going to keep moving and shaking, and that's Topeka's. In fact, it's not that we don't have anything to do. Now we have too much to do. There's so much to do in our arts district, and that it could make you tired. There's just a plethora of
just
places
alone
to
in the
go
arts
and,
district, we have downtown as our arts and entertainment district too. So there's plenty of that, and then we have the rest of Topeka that we could spread out to too. Happy Bassett, some of these other places that are on the outskirts of town. They do live performances, and
it's happening.
That's my favorite saying. It's happening in Topeka.
Happening in Topeka.
It's happening, man.
And I'm part of it.
So do you ever deal with any heckling or anything like that when you're up there?
I do get hecklers, and I started out as a heckler. Yeah, because I used to go to the comedy shows. There was a club here in Topeka.
So then you must, whenever you hear a heckler, you're like... Maybe you'll be on stage next.
That's right. It might be your calling.
Right.
But one time as a heckler, he called me up on stage and he says, I'm just going to sit down. He goes, you've got this, you know. And
How did that go?
It was fantastic, but I didn't pursue
cool.
it for a while after that. You know, it was just a fun evening.
Right.
But
it gave you a little taste, huh?
it did. And,
Very cool.
Yeah. And my dad was Jewish. My mother was Catholic. Born into comedy.
I was getting ready to say you was born in comedy, if that's the case.
I was born in comedy, and he wasn't even 5 foot tall. And Jewish people aren't known to be funny. They're very serious. They're very dedicated to their jobs.
Okay.
You know, they don't have fun jobs. And that was my dad, business suit, you know, all the way. Wherever we went, he was telling jokes. And I thought they were horrible. It was embarrassing. You know, parents are supposed to be quiet. They're not supposed to be, you know, make noise or tell jokes. But my dad did everywhere. We go into restaurants or the country club, and he's telling jokes, and people are laughing. And I've become him, you know. So I embarrass my kids now.
That's the joys of having kids.
I'm a success. Yeah.
I think I do that a few times myself.
Yeah.
But then also I have a kid that's in New York right now that's chasing his dream as being an actor, comedian. And so sometimes you embarrass the heck out of them and they realize, just like you just said, I became my dad. They realize, I want to be like my mom. I want to, you know, I was born into this, you know. And so that's great. That's great inspiration for your own kids. And I'm glad that you're an inspiration for other people too.
I hope so. I hope to be. I know I am.
Yeah. So yes, J&J's is going to be the next gig for you. What date is that? Do you remember?
September 13th. Yeah.
September 13th. Mm-hmm. That's going to be on a Saturday?
I'm not
Something
sure.
like September 13th. Look at your calendars. We all have calendars on our phone nowadays.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Go by J&J's. J&J's is going to be change in management pretty soon too, right?
Didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but
But
yeah,
I'm
it's gonna.
still on stage, by the way.
I think it's a customer appreciation night. I'll just say that a customer appreciation night is on the 19th at J&J's too. But the 13th, you could go by and see Jade over here at J&J's. Is there going to be anybody else there with you?
I think there probably will be other comedians, but yeah.
Are you headlining?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Totally wish I could be there. It'd be a great night. I'm sure it's going to be fun. But I will catch you at the break room whenever you are over there again. And do you do those every first Friday?
I am almost scheduled at every one of those, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So first Fridays, there's a comedy show. And on those nights, there's like a judging thing. So is there a...
This last one was a competition.
Oh, this last one was a competition. That's what I heard about. So I didn't know if it was like every first Friday.
And we hit beyond capacity for the building.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty exciting thing.
How did that night go?
Oh, it was incredible. It was so full in there. Don't tell the fire department. But we had quite a few comedians. I didn't win, but I was amazing, and I was told that I was amazing, and I booked 2 more shows from that.
Awesome.
And someone said that
so
if I
it sounds like you won to me. Booked 2 more shows.
I did, yeah. And they said if I would do the exact same show I did there at their place, they would love to have me, and I'd be more than happy to do that. So, yeah, it worked. It was a good set, and it was new material for me.
Yeah.
Because, like, some artists may paint the same type of pictures. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're into flowers. You always paint flowers. Comedians tend to do the same thing. We have a general type of comedy that we like to do. Mm-hmm. I broadened my horizons at this last show, and I went into an area that I would have never gone into before.
How often do you do that?
I've never done that. So this last show was, I went to politics.
And how did it go?
It was great.
It was great.
It was great.
Cool.
And that's a scary, stage right now to do politics.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of opinions
Politics and
out
religions. Religion is it's kind of like bar talk. Like you want to stay away from politics and religion. And so as a comedian, those are definitely the touchy
I did
subjects.
sex, politics, and sex, politics, and what else did I do?
Religion.
And religion. I did all 3 of them on the stage the other night. So, yeah. I figured if I didn't make them laugh, I'd make somebody angry. They'll remember me.
Stir the pot.
That's right.
That's great.
Went well.
Well, I look forward to seeing you again, and I appreciate you being here today
Well,
and
I'm
giving us
delighted
this
to be here.
conversation. Make sure you go check her out at J&J's on the 13th, and on First Fridays, you could often catch her over at the Break Room downtown over here on Kansas Avenue. So thanks again for being here. I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you
And
too.
you just keep rocking it, because I love to see people. I love to see the artists grow. So keep rocking it.
Things are happening in Topeka.
That's right. It's happening, man. I'm Alexander Lancaster with Jade
O'Reilly. Hitting the stage near you.
Hitting the stage near you. And I'll be on a wall over here or someplace. But thanks so much for joining us. We're at Two Wolf Studio and Artist Den. And I'm out. Thank you so much.